top have in common? They all crave destruction, derby style. We'll travel to Iowa, where factory cars frolic, and to Colorado to see reinforced rides collide.
This is going to be a crazy one.
And behold the behemoths of Washington State, where cars aren't the only things that crash. We're getting down and dirty all across the country. It's Demolition Derby USA. Next. Smashing, crashing, out-of-control body damage. Demolition derbies are a bang-em-up thrill ride of mashing metal.
Demolition Derby is where a lot of people go to have a good time smashing a car. And it sounds crazy, but it's an adrenaline rush.
At thousands of events around the country, as many as 100 cars will drive in, but only one makes it out alive.
The last one that moves wins, basically, and that's pretty much the premise.
Demolition devotees go to great lengths to spruce up their rides, only to transform them into mangled corpses of twisted steel, with a one-way ticket to the junkyard.
You just start hitting each other. You just go out and you just destroy something.
And don't even think about hitting a derby in your flimsy new car, because they just don't make them like they used to. America's car companies switched to fiberglass and plastic in the late 1970s.
Everything used to be metal. Grills, headlight casings, door handles, inside the car, the dashboard, everything used to be metal.
Those in the know can still find a few ancient relics with a little fight left in them. These sturdier steel machines are ripe for crunching action. Today, demolition derbies are taking place throughout the country, and their popularity continues to grow.
Nationally, it's probably gone from 5,000 races to about 7,000 races in 3 years.
But the heartland of America is where derby fans will find the cream of the crop. Like here, in southern Iowa. Head straight down Highway 92 and you'll cruise right into Oskaloosa, a little town with a big obsession.
I don't know, it's something about seeing a bunch of grown men smash each other up in cars just tend to, get us excited, I guess.
Brian Selvey organizes the Midwest Royal Rumble, a mega derby extravaganza with a $20,000 purse.
We're just trying to get everybody here. We're planning a really big event.
All Selvey needs are some drivers who want to enter the competition. And lucky for him, one man is looking to get a group rate. Mark Witt owns a junkyard near Oskaloosa. He's the patriarch of a ruthless derby family known as Mopar Express. In the Midwest Royal Rumble, Mopar Express will drive a total of 8 cars.
The main drivers of Mopar Express is myself, my 2 sons, Tony and Calvin, my 2 grandsons, Jeremy and Christopher, son-in-law Jamie, and his dad, Paul. That's most of the team most of the time.
Being in the junkyard business gives Mopar Express unfettered access to hundreds of older cars. When the whole family pitches in, they can turn a normal ride into a derby demon in less than 2 days. It's a process that involves stripping a car down to the bare minimum. They even remove the brakes.
You hit somebody to stop. You don't want brakes out there. You're out there to hit them, not to stop.
But just because they're in the same family doesn't mean members of this gang won't turn on each other when the time is right.
There ain't nothing better than seeing the audience go pretty good and watching you beat up on your brother or your dad or your little nephew. Ain't no big deal to me. My mom was out there, I'd hit her.
Mopar Express is king of the Derby Mountain. But they're not the only drivers looking to hog the spotlight in Oskaloosa. Jim Oldham is a renegade hog farmer with a mean track record.
I've ran in approximately probably 300 demolition derbies, and I've probably took the first prize home 75 times.
For Oldham, getting into a menacing metal mindset is just as crucial as having a killer car. A week before every demolition derby, he lines up some former winners on his front lawn and raises a skull and crossbones flag. It's his way of letting other drivers in the neighborhood know that their days are numbered.
We just kind of like to rub it in people's faces a little bit, but it's really all just in fun.
But over the years, all the crashes and bumps he's encountered have taken their toll.
I've had my hand cracked from the steering wheel whipping. I've had 7 or 8 stitches put in my elbow. I had a new hip put in December 20th, and so this run's going to be the first run since I've had that done, so we'll see how that goes.
Even though you might break a bone at the Derby, you better not break the law. Not while Kevin Hoke is on duty. When Iowa's finest isn't driving around in this car, he's driving around in this one.
Well, being a Derby driver makes you a better police officer because, you know, you go out, you slide around, and you learn how the car handles and which way to turn, and you know, and when you're in a police car, you never know what's going to happen.
Today, Hoke and his friends are putting the finishing touches on his Derby wagon. But a solid vehicle isn't Hoke's only armor. He also has a secret for Derby success.
If you're the one doing the hitting, you'll come out all right.
With all the trophies you'll find sitting around his house, Hoke's simple strategy seems to work. But if Hoke will represent the boys in blue at the Oskaloosa Derby, then this city slicker from New York is sure to be seen as its most notorious outlaw. Jeff James is the Big Apple's most committed student of the game, a Derby professional who eats, sleeps, and breathes demolition. Every summer, he and his wife Maria embark on a 75-day, 15,000-mile Derby marathon.
No beer, no sex, a little bit of water, a little bit of food, and that's pretty much it. So for me, it's a thrash all the way around. A little bit of sex, don't get me wrong.
If you don't like Derby, you never marry a Derby guy.
All told, James competes in over 40 Derbies a summer.
We build cars in May and June in the shop, and we get on the road about mid-June and come back home in August. Little last-minute preparations here.
But being 1,000 miles from his workshop isn't Jeff James's only problem.
I'm going to get double and triple teamed all night because they don't want the out-of-state guy leaving with the money and the trophy.
But whether they're from out of state or down the street, it's time for these Derby gladiators to put their money where their mufflers are. By the morning of the Derby, all 5,000 tickets are sold out, and cars are pouring into the pit area. This massive field behind the grandstand is a safe haven for drivers to work on their cars and get them ready for battle.
We ain't got a 3-inch white tape. Come on, damn it, gut whacker. There you go. There's about time. My gosh.
Being a former Derby driver himself, promoter Brian Selvey knows the importance of a fair fight. That's why he imported out-of-state officials like Jeff Rathjeb, a distant warrior from Pennsylvania, summoned forth to strike fear into the hearts of would-be cheaters. Rathjeb is here to make sure every car in the demo Derby remains stock, which means that no extra metal is allowed to be welded onto the car.
3 inches is good enough. This Derby is a stock weld Derby. We're leaving the factory integrity to the cars. You're not to mess with the body mounts. You're not to weld on the frame.
One by one, each car must pass Rathjeb's grueling inspection to make sure every part is set to factory standards.
We're checking the leaf springs. We have to remove 2 clamps. Only allowed 3 on each side. Got some factories here that gotta come off.
Rathjeb is working on a very tight schedule. He has only 5 hours to inspect almost 100 cars.
I'm gonna let it fly next time. These washers are just a little large.
Once their cars are ready to rock, the drivers gather round for one last chance to chat about the rules before the race.
We're going to run the first 6 heats of big cars and taking the top 3 to the main.
Just a few minutes later, it's time for over 5,000 fans to get what they paid for, a punishing panorama of car parts and carnage.
All right, Oskaloosa, are you ready? Let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it on!
With the start of heat number 1, the qualifying stage of the Derby begins. In Oskaloosa, there will be 6 qualifying rounds in total. The last 3 cars that can still move at the end of each heat will qualify for the main event. Anyone who doesn't make it through will be invited back for a consolation round and one last chance to make the final. Express makes easy work of heat number 1. While the other drivers eat his dust, he leaves the arena in triumph. Jeff James in car 144 and Mark Witt in car 777 face off in the second heat. And Jeff James's prediction of a gang assault comes true. Witt delivers a punishing blow to James's front end, and the local boys move in to finish him off. It's a good old-fashioned Oskaloosa triple team. Before long, James breaks the wooden stick attached to his car to signify his surrender. He'll have to get through the consolation round if he hopes to make the finals.
That's the disadvantage that I have. These guys, you know, they're all going to run together. The next thing you know, I get freaking double and triple team. But we'll get it together. We got to go into consolation.
In the third heat, Mark Witt's son, Tony, in car number 787, toys with the competition. As a member of Mopar Express, Tony is one of the most popular drivers in Oskaloosa, and he has the added pressure of trying to defend his hometown track.
It's going to be a show that people's going to want to watch because we're going to stand on our territory and make it tough.
Surprisingly, lesser-known driver Richard Gomack in car number 44 also fares well in heat number 3 and makes the main event. And the long arm of the law stretches over the arena in heat number 4, as Officer Kevin Hoke's punishing blow sentenced his opponents to some solitary confinement. In one of the last qualifying heats, Jimmy Oldham uses his hog farming instincts to put on a show.
Messing with hogs keeps you fast and quite movable. And that's what you got to do when you're demoing. You got to be watching everything all the time. When you go into the hog shed, you got to see everything. You got to be watching the whole arena.
His Chevy Impala takes a few mean hits, but he's not giving up till pigs fly. His car 33 survives and heads to the final.
My heat went pretty darn good. I come out of my heat, my car's really in a lot better shape than I ever dreamt it was, because I thought I was probably starting to get tore up, so I kind of cracked some with my front end when I shouldn't have been using the front end, but it'll pull out. It's in good shape.
The stage is set, and for junkyard dogs, hog farmers, and cops, the main showdown is mere minutes away. Coming up, we'll see if Jeff James can survive the dreaded consolation heat and move on to the main event. And later, we'll head to the Pacific Northwest to see if local farmers can combine their strength. At the Midwest Royal Rumble Demolition Derby in Oskaloosa, Iowa, the crowd is getting treated to some old-school carnage. The competition is fierce, and the hits have been extreme. And with $20,000 on the line, it's easy to understand why.
You come in here to Oski, there's a bunch of crazy lunatics down here, and they like to crank them up.
The qualifying rounds are over. And now drivers Jim Oldham, Kevin Hoke, and Mark Witt will face off in the finals with 30 other drivers. But for those who lost in the qualifying rounds, including out-of-state competitor Jeff James, it's consolation time. And he'll have only 1 hour to repair the damage that's been done to his car.
I got to get that front loader up here. We'll use a bulldozer to pull this front end out. We'll get in this race.
Jeff's front end is bent out of shape, but with a little help from Jim Oldham, he pounds it back. Before long, Jeff is up and running.
Let's go race.
He wastes no time heading into the arena.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go!
But as soon as the heat begins, Jeff James's second chance at glory takes a wrong turn and knocks him from the competition. Looks like this out-of-towner should have stayed home.
Well, it kind of sucks. I've been through a lot of demos, and at one heat there were 7 guys, and like I said earlier, you know, it was going to be me against 6, and it was.
Taking too many hits at this point would be a problem for Jim Oldham. His new hip replacement wasn't designed for that kind of punishment, and the hog farmer is walking with a limp.
That new hip having that put in, that ain't the thing to be doing, coming out here and playing with the demo, and I guarantee it. But we're here anyway.
The Witt family's Mopar Express is running full throttle. They'll have 6 cars competing in the final, And that's just the way Dad likes it.
Son Tony, he's in. Son-in-law's in. His dad's in, so we're looking good.
With less than an hour to go before showtime, the drivers partake in a classic Derby ritual. Using a sledgehammer, they wail away at their cars, pounding bent bodies back into place. While the drivers patch up their wounded soldiers, the show must go on. So organizers have provided the fans with a heavyweight novelty act, Oskaloosa's first demolition derby for trucks.
But the truck thing is just badass, right? The trucks are going to be so much fun because they're high, they're not going to die real quick, and the guys are going to be just getting on it. I bet you there's going to be some rollovers.
The truck heat starts off cautiously. The drivers don't know how hard they can push it. But it doesn't take long before this flatbed assault turns nasty. One unlucky trucker takes a massive blow and is sent barreling over onto his side. Race officials and firemen rush to his aid. Luckily, competitor Rob Baker doesn't have a scratch on him. And believe it or not, his truck still works.
When I got flipped, all I could think about was flipping me back over on all fours. I was hoping they'd let me run. They looked inside, said, "You all right?" I said, "Yep."
Before long, this trucker's ball comes down to two men, Rob Baker and Mark Witt. Pretty soon, Witt moves in for the death blow. A whopping collision that takes out Baker's front end. Baker waves his arms in retreat, and Mark Witt wins the first truck derby in Oskaloosa history. Mark collects his trophy, but he must also collect his wits, because the main event is just minutes away.
Well, I've never won two of them in one night, but we're going to give her a shot.
It's finals time in Oskaloosa, and the drivers are pumped.
We're all ready to go kick some game.
The cars enter the arena for the last time. There's a $20,000 purse at stake, plus bragging rights in Oskaloosa. Early in the final, when one car bursts into flames, the day's driver decides to leave his car and the arena, right in the middle of the heat. About halfway through this fiesta of automotive attrition, the real drama begins. Jamie McKinn from Mopar Express gets hopelessly stuck on the wall. Seconds later, Kevin Hogue gets pushed from behind and goes barreling into Jesse Gomat. The force of the rollover crushes Gomat's roof. Paramedics rush to the scene as Jesse's brother Richard jumps out of his car to make sure he's okay. Jesse appears to be fine, but while the rollover doesn't cause him any injuries, it does cause a headache for the referees.
What do you do?
The officials gather at Rathjeb's judging tower to tell him there's a problem. Jesse's car is leaking gas, which means they'll have to take it out of the arena. But that also means they'll be helping Officer Kevin Hogue, whose car is lodged on top of Jesse's, get his car back down on the ground. And Mopar Express doesn't think it's fair. They argue that if the officials help Kevin down, they should also help Jamie get his car off the wall. The rules at this derby say that if a player gets hung up, he only has 1 minute to free himself before being disqualified. But taking Hoke's car off of Gomat's means that Hoke will get a free pass back into the competition, and that leaves Rathjeb with a difficult decision.
I'm screwed no matter what I do in this situation.
Eventually, Rathjeb decides that Hoke's predicament is unique and has nothing to do with Mopar Express. Jamie will just have to find a way off the wall himself. And since he's already used most of his 1 minute time limit, he'll only have 7 seconds left to wiggle himself free. Refusing to be defeated by the ruling, Mark Witt tells one of his boys to ram into Jamie's car as soon as the race resumes. He hopes this will dislodge it. The attempt to set him free almost works, but although some would say the whole Witt family is off the wall, Jamie isn't, and Mopar Express is down to 5. Meanwhile, Kevin Hogue doesn't get to capitalize on his good fortune. Even though he's back on terra firma, the rollover caused too much damage to his car, and he can't get back in the race. Pretty soon, there are only 6 cars left, and that spells trouble for everybody's favorite ham, Jimmy Oldham. Mark Witt spins him around as Richard Gomat joins the slaughter. When Paul McKim swoops in and takes out Oldham's rear axle, Jimmy and his new HIV have to settle for 6th place. Minutes later, only 4 cars remain, and 3 of them belong to Mopar Express. But Richard Gomat isn't afraid. He goes after the Witt boys like a man with a death wish. Somehow, a guardian angel leads Gomat into a one-on-one showdown with the head Mopar in charge, good old Mark Witt. Like 2 colossal heavyweights, Witt and Gomat take turns punishing each other. But like 2 bucks ramming heads in the wild, there can only be one victor. With everything he has left, Richard lowers the boom and Witt is finished. After 9 years of trying, Richard Gomat wins the first demolition derby of his career. After taking a minute to catch his breath, Gomat reflects on his surprise win.
I think I might have surprised a few, that I won it, because I'm known for a pretty heavy foot, and I usually tear my car up before I get down to the end. And the car was tore up, I just got lucky enough that the motor and tranny kept running, which allowed me to get on top.
Gomat collects his trophy and a first-place check for $5,000. And for Richard's brother Jesse, getting rolled over and nearly crushed doesn't feel so bad now that his big brother has won the whole shebang.
It's good enough for me to see his face, that trophy.
Mark Witt collects his trophy for 2nd place. Not too shabby for a grandfather of 14.
To win one and come that close to winning the 2nd one in one night, that's a heck of a feat, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
By placing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Mopar Express will actually take home more money than the $5,000 prize for coming in 1st.
We just got done calculating our winnings as a family team, if you want to call that, and we're coming home with $6,200 tonight.
The first annual Midwest Royal Rumble ended as it began, with a bang. But it's after midnight in Oskaloosa, and most people are ready to wave goodbye for the night. After all, someone might be waiting up.
Yeah, I'm sure the hogs are getting a little nervous because I left home this morning at 10 o'clock and I ain't been in and fed them yet, so they're probably wondering if Jim's coming home tonight.
Coming up, we'll head west to Greeley, Colorado for a different kind of demolition derby, where even stronger cars square off and state rivalries flare up.
Mad Dog Award. The person that's the most aggressive. I got a close one.
Thank you.
Look, all right, come follow me. Look at this car, all right? Look at this car. This is what this guy's driving, okay?
Finely tuned, strong, American-made product.
Look at this car.
Yeah. Notice his dominant color, pink. What kind of masculine car
at least I took time to decorate my car.
You know what? I think I'm going to paint that thing pink. God, I'm going to
Hey, Chris. He's with that group of people that boy.